We were talking about the TSA around flight school yesterday, and most of the guys in the flight school are around 20 years old. So I was telling them when the TSA got into that real hiring run that they were on for a while, they reached out to me for some strange reason, probably through the college, and I was still doing radio and I was frankly bored, so I went and took their test. And what they wanted me to do was look at a bunch of x-rays and scans, point things out, pick them out, and be able to do it very quickly. So apparently that's a skill that I have. I didn't know that's what I had, while they were also talking to me in a headset and I was supposed to be remembering the things they said, which is also a skill that I have. They called me for years and years and years and I never went for the job. And they were like, wow, they weren't here when the TSA began the hiring. Now, the TSA is an interesting branch. When I was looking at it, it was funny. My dad was also contacted because he was ex-military, and they were talking about him heading up a division. And I thought, huh. And then I talked to them about that because the money just wasn't good. And their answer was, you're going to need a master's degree. So in the process of getting a master's degree, not planning to work for the TSA, you notice how the TSA is all up in our business about what we can and cannot bring on the plane. But there are absolutely no restrictions in who they seat beside you. Now, are they? No. They're like, sir, you cannot bring this toothpaste on the flight. Can you not read? 3.6 ounces. It's over the limit. Sorry, sir. I'm all like, okay. But the guy in 26B right now smells like a medical experiment. So we're just letting that through security now, right? It's okay. I get it. The list from TSA this year of the things that we packed we probably shouldn't have on trips include explosives. Mark that off of your things to bring on the next trip that you plan to hop through, TSA for. Also, turtles in your bra. They're against that. Who knew? It's a thing for the TSA. And pills and shampoo bottles. So in case you need to hear this, the TSA finds pills in shampoo bottles. And maybe you know someone that needs to hear that. Maybe it ain't you. Make sure they hear that. And all that stuff is bad. But let me tell you what, all these stupid rules, they have prevented me from bringing the very things I need on a plane. For instance, me and the TSA both agree that I don't need a knife on a flight. But if I show up at the airport dressed completely in stretch wrap, looking like leftovers in the fridge like a rotisserie chicken, because I don't want to touch anything, because everything on the plane is nasty, they're going to balk at that, aren't they? I mean, the seats look like a National Geographic special. Sneezes on them, wheezes on them, baby crying, all kind of stuff on them, and look like somebody lost a battle with their dinner right there. I don't want to sit in that seat. It's nasty. But I can't do that. TSA's going to complain. I needed a scuba tank for the last time I flew, but the TSA says no. No, I didn't need it to go underwater. No, I needed it because the man beside me coughed and the air above us changed colors. I don't have to breathe that. I don't know what he had. Ebola? Whooping cough, something that's only been in a medical journal and in a swamp in Zimbabwe. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I don't want to be a case study either. TSA's worried about turtles in bras. Bro, I would have changed places with any one of them turtles. You know why? Because turtles mind their own business. Every time I sit next to somebody, they want to get in mine. TSA says, no, bud, you can't bring a crowbar on a flight. I don't need it for a violent reason. I need it because on the last flight, I wanted to pry open the window and sit out on the wing like a gargoyle. This dude's breath knock a buzzard off a meat wagon. I don't know what he ate, but it tasted to me like raw salmon wrapped in durian fruit and chased with whiskey. You ever smell something so foul that you start apologizing to the people around you for it? Yeah, it was one of them. Sorry, I know. Long flight. The whole time the flight attendant's coming by me like, sir, can I get you something to drink? I'm like, yeah. And a priest in a hazmat suit. They'll never offer that on the list, do they? Stupid airplanes. So I got off the plane. I was starving. I went to Chipotle. Went into the Chipotle and realized, dang, you know what I forgot? I forgot my dental chisel. Because that's what it was going to take to get through the rice that was in the burrito. Let me tell you something. It was nasty. And I read an article today. Says Chipotle says sales have dropped. You don't say. They say there's fewer people coming in the stores. Get out. They said margins were down and not as many people like there used to be. Get out. You got to be kidding me, right? What are they going to do? Oh, they got a fix for it. Don't kid yourself. Let me tell you what their brilliant fix is over at Chipotle. They're going to offer a rewards program. That's right. They're going to use AI to send you personalized messages to your inboxes, so you know what that means, more junk. But if you sign up now, you're getting 10% off of some chips so they can text you every 10 to 12 minutes. They said they're going to make checking out easier, which I've never had that much difficulty with it, but okay. And they're going to add rewards and challenges so they can make earning free food fun. In other words, the burrito might be the worst, but hey, our app is going to be awesome. They also went on to say that their core customer makes over $100,000 a year in their corporate meetings. You know what that means, right? That means they're trying to put their core customer in a, after we raise prices, you still have to eat here because we did it, because you deserve it. What kind of warped logic and marketing nonsense is that? Fact of the matter is, when you tell me that my customer base makes over $100,000, in the next breath you tell me you're about to raise all the prices, and then you go, oh, but you can handle it. What? So the problem is, sales are down, people aren't coming, and the profit margins are falling. Meanwhile, y'all aren't ready to attack the real problem. And the real problem is the rice. The rice sits so long in those metal pans that it becomes construction material. They have to scrape it off the side of the pans like chipping ice off the window, and then they throw it right in the middle of my burrito. I can't chew that. I'm damned aardvark. What's wrong with you people? And the people serving it look at it and they get that look. They're like, That look is, I wouldn't eat this, but you're going to pay me for it, and it'll be $16.75. They don't apologize for the fact that the rice is the base of the whole burrito dish. Yet, it's so crunchy that it tastes like something you would eat on day 17 of Survivor. They don't apologize for that when they're asking for $16.75. But they'll gladly tell me it's healthy. Let me tell you, when you bite into a burrito and there's a crunch from the rice, that's not comforting. That's a warning sign. For $16.75, the rice should at least be emotionally supportive. Willing, at least. And don't even get me started on the guacamole. They're out here acting like it's some kind of luxury item. Yo, it's crushed avocados, not a Rolex. Y'all fools are spending millions of dollars on AI strategies and marketing plans and rewards for your customers. And the real problem is the entire experience is ruined by the rice. And everyone knows it. You'd think y'all have figured it out by now. So I've been struggling with some of this equipment today. I have a camera that keeps overheating, which is interesting. These are woes that I'm not sure I'm prepared for because I live in the desert. So I cooled my house down in the interior down to 73. And that's all fine right now. But when it's 110 outside, we're not going to be able to cool it down to 73. So if this camera requires me to keep the temperature in the low 70s, we're going to be getting a different camera. But I've enjoyed working with it so far. It's just got to figure its junk out. Now, have you heard about man keeping? So it's when women in the relationship handle all of the emotional stuff. So like the birthdays, the social chat stuff, the social plan stuff, anything you're doing online, the conversations, all of it, anything that has to do with feelings. You know, the basic human maintenance department stuff. That's all usually done right now in America by the wife. So the article says man keeping is bad for men because if somebody else manages your relationships, you end up feeling alone and isolated. I'm not going to say that they're wrong, but I am saying that men would pretty much prefer to be the target in a medieval archery contest than to have to sit down and talk with anybody about feeling stuff. It's not what we do. You ask any dude if he feels emotionally supported by his friends, and he's likely to say something like, well, Steve helped me move the washing machine in 2008, so I feel like we're pretty close. We don't have emotional bonding. That's not what dudes do. We have task-based bonding. That's different. We don't say, hey, buddy, how's your heart? We say, hey, I got a truck. You need anything moved? I mean, that's pretty much male intimacy. We stand there next to the truck. Somebody goes, yeah. Somebody else goes, yeah. Good talk. We walk away. That's really all we need, right? And now the article is telling women that they're doing too much. They're carrying too much of the emotional labor and load. All the remembering birthdays and the planning the social stuff and checking on everybody's feelings. Meanwhile, dudes just sitting over here in cargo shorts, willing to do whatever, like a golden retriever. And it's starting to sound like you're complaining because we have roles that we must do in our relationships if we want this marriage to work. She's like, did you call your mom? It's her birthday. And I'm like, when did she start having birthdays? I thought you called her. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's man keeping. But the funny thing is, they're acting like we as dudes want the emotional structure. I didn't ask for that. Did you? You're whining about a job that you created for you. We didn't want any of that. I mean, most dudes are okay from being one missed group text away from living like a lighthouse keeper. We don't care. If you take away a dude's partner, their social life's going to look pretty much like this. One person they text once a year, a couple of friends in the fantasy football league, and a dude at Home Depot that he nods at. He usually nods back. And that's kind of enough. That's an emotional support system. It's a lot. Article goes on about how men need deeper friendships for our health and whatnot. Maybe I believe that. But you gotta understand that dudes don't build friendships with feelings. We build them with projects, sports, bad decisions, usually starting with beer. If a dude calls another dude just to talk on the phone, he's probably in jail or dead. So yeah, maybe relationships need more balance. Maybe men should try to remember more birthdays, and maybe we could plan things better and check in a little more. But I mean, let's not act all surprised. We are the only species on Earth that regards sitting next to a man while the football game is on as emotional bonding. Honestly, we thought the system was working just fine. Now we find out it's not. Stupid magazines. Thanks for the time today. I'm Bud Ford, and I'm at Bud Ford Comedy.